Appreciate everybody coming, especially all the people who made the effort to come from out of town. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to see everybody here today. We're going to have a few speakers, and then after Harrison speaks, the floor will be open for anybody to speak or do anything you like. So, hope you'll join in and participate. The first speaker today is a good friend of Mead's, who's known him for about 10 years. He's one of our trivia players. He's become close with Mead and was with him when he died. His name's Dr. Phil Hanlon.
Good morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I'm one of Mead's longtime teammates on the trivia team, the Encyclones. I first met Mead back in the late 90s when we were playing trivia at Bojangles. I kind of remember those days as the golden age of trivia here in Beall. A local radio personality, Flossie, would ask about 30 questions in 2 hours, and with $75 cash money awarded to the winning team each week. There were always 6 or more large teams, some serious drinking, and a generally raucous atmosphere. Mead's team, the Encyclones, occupied the New York Yankees niche in this league. They probably didn't win more than 50% of the matches, but they were always strong and feared and admired. Our position, my team, was right next to them in the bar, and from the very beginning, I picked out Mead as one of the ringleaders of the Cyclones. Of course, all good things have to end. Bojangles went out of business, and Mead gave us trivia refugees a home at his restaurant, Picklefish. My trivia team also went out of business, and Mead and his fellow Encyclones gave me a home on their team. When Mead first shared the fact with me that he'd been diagnosed with esophageal cancer, I figured he had a year to live at the best. But thanks to a first-rate surgeon here in town, Larkin Daniels, he beat the odds. The Lord didn't design the esophagus to be operated on, however, and such surgery is fraught with danger. Larkin successfully resected his tumor, but Mead developed some complications from what can be accurately described as heroic surgery. In the fall of 2008, Mead had another major surgery to repair his messed up gastrointestinal tract. It was during his recovery from this surgery that I really got to know and admire Mead. I got in the habit of visiting him just about every day in the hospital, and was privileged to hear so many of his stories, as well as his opinions on current events. What I didn't hear was any whining or poor me complaints. It was remarkable, extraordinary. I remember clearly watching the precipitous fall of the stock market late in 2008, sitting with Mead in his room at the Beall Infirmary ICU. Mead's recovery from his last major surgery was less than complete. Nutritional and respiratory problems plagued him over the last 4 years, but the remarkable thing was his good attitude toward his serious medical problems. Even when Picklefish stopped paying prize money, we continued Thursday night trivia strictly for the love of it, with Mead writing and asking the questions at least every third session. I'm grateful to all Mead's friends who posted pictures on his Facebook memorial page, especially the portrait of him with Shelley and baby Harrison. That's priceless. The pictures I contributed to the memorial page, and I hope they got up there, show him the way I like to remember him. Haggard but happy at the microphone, sharing his extraordinary thesaurus of trivia and in the company of his friends. It's a privilege to be here today. Thank you.
I met Mead for the first time in 1956 when he entered 4th grade at St. Albans in my brother Gordon's class. There's several more of his classmates here. Dave Bartlett, Bill Geesey, Sandy Hawes made the trip to honor Mead. And there were a lot of similarities between Mead and I in the way we grew up. You know, we were born in the same hospital, and we grew up in the same kind of lifestyle. We went to the same school, and both our parents were from Texas. Mead's here. Late again. The only man who's ever been late to his own funeral. We also were the baby of the family. I was the baby of the family, mine, he, and his. And there was a political connection in both families. My father was a political writer, and his father was a lobbyist and a great friend of Lyndon Johnson. And his mother, Scooter, was a socialite and worked hard to you know, do things for the Democratic Party in any way she could. And when I got married in 1975, he came down to my wedding. That's where he met Kelly, his future wife. Then he moved to Mobile. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Whenever he would talk of politics, he would, not whenever, but occasionally he would tell a story that I loved. I wish I knew, maybe Dale can help me with the proper name of a politician. But there was this very cheap politician who never carried any money, but was constantly borrowing $5 here, never paid back anybody, nobody. Finally, one day, one of his was it debtors or he owed money to, and he caught him actually with money in his hand. So he went up and said, "I caught you. I want my $5 back, and you got to give it to me. I see you got money." And so, okay, he pulled out $5, gave it to him. He said, "I'm going to frame this." And the guy said, "Well, in that case, let me write you a check." So, Mead, during his high school years, was at a school called St. Albans in Washington, which is kind of St. Paul's on steroids. And did very well. He was a good student. Very popular, life of the party, great dresser, lots of dates, lots of girlfriends. And I'm sure he had a great time. You know, had his own car, and you know, just had a great old time. Going to debutante parties and, you know, honing his comedy act. But it's interesting, I learned later that he also was kind of a loner. For all his social graces, he was really a loner at heart. And he spent a lot of time over in the Washington Cathedral, which was part of St. Albans, the close of the cathedral close. And he would go to 4 or 5 services a day as an acolyte, you know, just kind of separate from everybody else. And that really surprised me. But he was really shy. That's, you know, I'm sure you'll go, Mead Miller, shy? Well, it was a bit of a defense against his shyness, that he put together a heck of an act to you know, to overcome that shyness. And you know, no one ever did that better. You know, he's about the funniest guy I ever met. And those who've only known him maybe the last 10 or 15 years missed his best years in terms of comedy. When he was in his 20s, it was bang, 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 bang. He and David Bartlett would get together, and I mean, it just was killer, just absolutely killer. And you know, It's like, Leslie, what was those? There's only about 1 million of them. I can't think of any of them, but you know, he was fantastic. Just the funniest guy. Just super sharp and quick. Just quick. To give you an idea of how much of a ladies' man he is, one example. One example, this is his yearbook, 1965, St. Albans School. Where are you here? All right, this is to Mead. Have fun for the next 4 years. It's okay with me. But remember, I'm going to marry you. Love always, Tipper. Tipper Gore. She ended up being Tipper Gore. So, that's the only inscription there on his own base. So, place of honor. He then went to Tulane. Get me water. Maybe have a little water. He went to Tulane, kind of a party school, and he was at first a frat boy, but then he, you know, went into the counterculture thing, and that's where Keene joined him. Billy, were you at Tulane?
Yes.
Freshman.
Okay, all right.
It was
But you didn't meet at Tulane or at UT?
No, I just had a fleeting moment in his house.
Oh, okay.
Before the arrest.
I got you.
Which one?
He went on to the University of Texas, got a master's degree in film. I don't think he ever really actually made a film, but somebody got a master's degree in it. And when he came back to Washington after that, when I was about 21 or so, that's when our real friendship began.